What is up? What's going on, guys? Trizzle here, tuning in, bringing you guys another great 3-star tutorial. Today, we are going to be going over Town Hall 8 GoWiPe. Of course, this is the 2018 meta post Town Hall 12 update, of course, with a bowler CC. So some of you might actually know this raid as BoGoWiPe. Now I will say that this is an extremely strong raid, definitely an attack that you want to get into your repertoire. Of course, there are going to be some specifics, and we are going to get into that. Definitely excited to go over this attack with you guys, because I do feel that it has actually changed. At one point in time, as you guys might know, GoWiPe was a 2-star army. Back when Town Hall 8 was actually at the very zenith of the game. It was the highest you would progress. GoWiPe was actually strong. In some cases it was a 3-star army, but at that point the game did not have as many defensive capabilities as it does now. You fast forward to Town Hall 9, GoWiPe definitely turns into a 2-star army up until the advent of bowlers, in which case it definitely gave it a lot more of a viability. And then once they gave Town Hall 9 level 4 Pekkas, it was just over. So the combination of the bowler CC really put the nail in the coffin. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Now, starting with the army composition, you're going to be looking at 1 archer, 6 wallbreakers, 13 wizards, 3 Pekkas, 2 golems, and of course those CC bowlers, and 1 barb for filler. Now your spells, you're going to be using 1 heal spell, 2 raid spells, 2 poison spells. You bring 1 of your own, along with the CC poison spell. Now for extra cleanup, in the event of a war attack where you've got some corner huts, corner structures, you're going to want to maybe sub out 1 of those wizards for either a minion and a couple of archers, or 4 archers, whatever you prefer. Now as far as tips for success, you really want to try and stay away from those extremely compact bases with max walls. This is actually best for a more open layout with the fewest amount of compartments possible. Now to 3-star max bases and war consistently, your Pekkas need to be level 3 and your king has to be level 10. Now you do want to make sure that the clan castle, the defensive CC, cannot flank your army at the start of the attack. It's very important, guys. Now of course you gotta practice, guys. Practice, memorize those raid objectives and practice some more. I cannot preach that enough. Now that's gonna bring us to the actual raid objectives. Starting with number 1, you gotta determine the best side of the base to attack. You want to engage the base so that you can aggro the CC by the time your army moves into the first layer of the base. Now number 2, deploy the golems medium distance apart. Number 3, immediately after dropping your golems, deploy a wide line of wizards right behind them. You want to go from the outside in to help cut the funnel, and you want to make sure you save at least 2, possibly 3 wizards for cleanup at the end. Now, that brings us to raid objective number 4. Deploy your Pekkas after the wizards have cut the funnel. Number 5, watch the splash damage and deploy 3 wall breakers to break into the first layer of the base. Number 6, deploy your king and the CC bowlers in the middle, right behind the Pekkas. And number 7, this is where you're going to deploy your first raid spell. It's basically going to be in the very middle as the army engages the first layer of the base. And number 8, raid objective number 8, you're going to deploy the last 3 wall breakers, and you kind of want to time it so that way the raid spell that you put down, that actually does also boost the wall breakers as they break into that second layer and get you into the core. Now raid objective number 9, drop the heal spell to protect your bowlers and your troops, protect your kill squad as the troops move towards the core and as the CC engages. So as you see the CC troops start to move in, you want to drop that heal spell to protect them. And that brings us to raid objective number 10, deploy the double poison as soon as the defensive CC troops converge. So I know that kind of goes without saying, but you want to get that poison spell down as soon as possible. That way you can deal with it. And raid objective number 11, drop your last raid spell over the core to help your bowlers and your kill squad demolish the core defenses. Now, of course, with the last, the 12th raid objective, you want to make sure that you save those leftover wizards. You're actually going to drop those wizards to either support a golem or Pekka that ends up kind of circling the base. Usually what will happen as the troops move through the base, once you hit the core or you get to like the second or third layer, what will sometimes happen is you'll have one of the tanks go around or circle the base. So you want to make sure that that tank is not all by its lonesome and it has that wizard support to take out anything that might cause the golem to get stuck on a wall. Now, of course, once you do all these things, guys, you just got to sit back and collect the 3-star. Once you're able to determine the best base, which, like I said, you want to look for those open bases, that's it. Now, don't forget, you can't be too hesitant when you use that king ability. I know this is something that I recommend on pretty much every raid, but you don't want to let his health fall below 50% before you use that ability, because sometimes he'll die before the full ability gets used. So don't hold it back too long. And the general gist when it comes to using your spells, guys, you don't want to keep the spells for too long with this raid. It's going to result in getting a much smaller benefit out of your rage and your heal spells. So they need to be used as the army enters the base, as it flows through the core, and then worst case scenario, that last rage needs to be used either on the back half of the core or as the troops are leaving the core, but never after that. So that's going to be it, guys. I know with the all the additional benefits that have trickled down with the level 4 bowlers, the second dark spell slot, it's definitely going to give those Town Hall 8s an advantage to be able to take out even very, very strong bases. So definitely wanted to get this to you guys. We're going to go ahead and get into the attacks, and let's see this in action. Now, starting with the base selection, again, you want to look for that open layout, and then of course you're going to bring your golems down, followed by the wizards to start cutting the funnel. You do a nice wide line of wizards, drop the Pekka to break through the wall, got the wall breakers down, king goes down, bowler CC, raid spell, then you get those wall breakers in there to again get into that second layer of the base, poison spell down to deal with the CC, and then the last rage, you want to usually try and keep that for the bowlers to power through the core, and then from there the troops just move through the base in a wave. So this base can be tricky if you're not careful. It's actually a Town Hall 8 ring base, and because you're not doing any type of queen walk or anything that will help exaggerate the funnel being cut, you just have to have good sound deployment, and again the raid is very strong. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into some other replays for you guys, and let's start at the bottom. And again, these are all max base hits. Some of them may or may not have a CC, but again, watching the deployment, you'll be able to see it in action and apply it to your own raids. Now, of course, getting those golems down pretty medium distance apart, followed by the line of wizards. As the wizards cut the funnel, you get your Pekkas down, you get your king, bowlers, get that raid spell down, get the wall breakers down to benefit from the rage, and then as your troops move into that core / second layer of the base, you get that heal spell down. As the CC troops converge, poison spell down to deal with the CC or heroes, anything that ends up being high value, and then of course the second rage, you typically use that over the core for the kill squad, Pekkas, as well as the bowlers, to really take out anything that would be clustered, and allow the army to move through the entire base like a wave. So as you'll see, we'll power through even with a fairly decent base layout. If you get the right deployment and it's not compact, you can definitely take out a lot of bases. Alright, now I will make a quick comment. This base is a little bit more compact, but because it doesn't have a ton of compartments and because the walls aren't max, you're still able to take it out easily. Again, rinse, wash, repeat. golems medium distance apart, followed by that line of wizards, outside in, followed by your Pekkas, followed by your king, bowler CC. Make sure that you get that raid spell down, wall breakers down, and then heal as they go into the core. Second rage either on the core or as you're basically leaving it, and then get the wizards down to support the golem or Pekkas that circle. You'll notice that on this raid, that one golem got stuck banging on the wall on the right, so it would have been stuck there the entire raid. By the time I caught it, I got the wizards down, but because of that little divot in the wall, it ended up causing the wizards to get targeted. But in any event, it still ends up working out, because by the time everything goes through, there's still a couple Pekkas, the king, and I think there was a golemite just until a moment ago. But again, it's more than enough to finish taking out the rest of the base, even though again it wasn't a super open layout. Alright, so of course we're going to go over this. I might sound like a broken record, but I really want to get you guys up to speed and proficient with this attack. Getting your golems down, nice wide line of wizards from the outside in to help cut the funnel. From there you want to get your Pekkas down. Now you might have noticed that in this raid I actually dropped one Pekka to help tank and make sure that I can have the troops flow through the base. The reason that's done, and the times when you'll need to do that, is if you might have an outside defense that pulls the golem. Because of that, it can have some weird effects. You want to really be able to tank your wizards with that golem. So if there's an outside defense like Tesla, anything that pops up that ends up pulling the golem, it's okay to drop one Pekka to basically be where you would have dropped, be in place of where you would have dropped the other golem. So that way you can still tank for your wizards. And that's not the end of the world. That's just a pro tip to help you improvise and still be able to 3-star in the event that things don't go perfect exactly just like how you expected it and wanted it to go. But in any event, let's go ahead and get you guys the next example. And again, nice, simple, straightforward. You're going to want to get the golem down, start the funnel, get your wizards down, as well as watch just to make sure that when you're dropping your troops in the middle that they don't get targeted. You want to make sure that either a golem or a Pekka can tank for your bowlers and your king and whatnot. Make sure that you're maximizing those wall breakers. If you can rage them, that's the best thing that you can do, because bringing only 3 to 6 wall breakers, well, I shouldn't say 3 to 6, I bring 6 as a standard rule, but only bringing that many wall breakers, if you have a wall breaker fail, whether any traps or anything like that, it's not going to leave a whole lot to get into the core. So utilizing the raid spells as well as the strength of the Pekka, you can actually sometimes use the your Pekkas as the first layer wall break to get into that first layer without needing the wall breakers. Alright, so just a couple more examples to give you guys. The more that you see this in action, the more that you're going to not be visually shocked. Again, it's all about developing muscle memory, making sure that you practice, you get used to the feel of the raid, get used to the deployment. That allows you to master the timing, which in a lot of cases is very crucial. I know those of you that have been playing the game a long time, you do realize that the nuances, whether it's one tile in one direction or another, 1 second off, it makes a big difference. So getting the practice in does go a very long way. And then this raid is no different. Even though Town Hall 8 is a little bit easier than obviously Town Hall 9 and higher, it's still one of those town halls where if you're not careful, you'll end up not really ever mastering it. And a lot of people, that they end up upgrading prematurely, or they'll go to Town Hall 9 thinking that, okay, well, I'm going to get Town Hall 9 troops, so I'm going to dominate and I'm going to be a boss. That's not the case. The good news is that your boy Trizzle has you covered. Of course, bringing you the most informative 3-star tutorials, the most lit live streams on YouTube. And of course, with that all being said, make sure you check out the 3-star tutorial playlist. I know that that's typically linked, but If you don't know where that is, just visit the channel, click on the 3-star tutorial playlist, and you will see everything you need to see. But just gonna maybe show you 1 or 2 more examples, that way you can get a feel for the different types of bases this will work on. And again, it's all about the deployment, being smart, using that Pekka to act as a second or a third golem in the event that one of your golems go on a field trip. But in any event, if you make sure that you're selecting the right base for this army, which is usually that open layout with not too many of a compact type layout, as well as having you don't really want, I'm not saying you can avoid max walls, but if you see a base with lower walls, that's only going to work to your benefit. So that is again another 3-star, and some of these bases, I'm not going to say that they were the hardest bases ever, but as we all know, the majority of people that we encounter that play this game, even if it on clans that are a little bit more serious about war and things like that, people are lazy. I can't tell you how many times I've seen bases where like they're straight up internet bases and they're not even good internet bases, so that's why you still gotta not gonna say go through the motion, but you still gotta learn your fundamentals. So on this one, it was actually a new Town Hall 9. You'll notice that I end up using the Pekka to take out the Archer Queen, act as the far golem. That way, after instantly killing the Archer Queen, it would be a tank for everything on the left. I'd be able to get my funnel cut and bring in the rest of the Pekkas, the King, Bowler CC, along with that raid spell to bust into the core, getting my wall breakers down, and then from there healing, allowing the kill squad to break into the core, of course using that raid spell as effectively as possible. Now, one thing that I have realized is that on the right base, you can actually take out 8.5s no problem, even if the 8.5s have those max Town Hall 9 defenses, but just haven't dropped the expos. I know that Supercell did make it so that you have to drop all of your structures before you upgrade to the next Town Hall with the Town Hall 12 update, but this is still a viable attack. So I know we've gone over a lot of it, different examples. Of course, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Most of you guys have a way of contacting me. If not, the comment section is definitely your best friend. We're at a point now where things are picking up steam. I definitely want to give you guys a special shout out. We're currently in the month of June 2018. So if you guys want a chance to win the gift card this month, you know what you got to do. But more than anything else, I love teaching you guys. I love being able to help people improve as an attacker, and that's why I do this. That's why I love the channel. That's why I love the game. But with that all being said, guys, as you know, Trizzle appreciates you from the bottom of his heart. And with that all being said, guys, have a great day. Trizzle tuning out. Let's get it.